So, I was doing some research on this country, but then my editing software stopped cooperating, and I decided to take a break. So, I did some research on a different country, one that's known for being doubly landlocked, the remnants of the Holy Roman Empire, and was available for rent for $70,000 a night for a few months in 2011. Liechtenstein, to most people, is basically a trivia fact. Liechtenstein's existence is such a novelty and anomaly that you can find countless videos and articles explaining why it's even there. This country is so out of place that in the second issue of the 1967 American Journal of International Law, Walter S.G. Cohn spends 11 pages proving that, in fact, Liechtenstein is legally and politically a sovereign state. Even the people of Liechtenstein are concerned with their own sovereignty. In 2012, 76% of Liechtensteiners agreed that acting Prince Alois should be able to keep his extensive veto power, something he isn't afraid to use or flaunt. Why did they do this? Well, Renate Wohlfeld of the 25-member parliament at the time put it concisely. The prince represents the country. He is the guarantor of our sovereignty and stability. Liechtenstein is culturally and ethnically identical, or at least very close to its neighbors, and this weird vestigial monarchy they feel the need to strengthen is, in the opinion of some, their last claim to individuality. I picked this small, rural country forever held hostage by its monarchy because its official language is German. Now, German is a word, and like many other words, it can mean different things in different contexts. So hold my hand as I lead you through the confusing world of Germanic naming conventions. Most generally, German means Standard German, which can refer to either Austrian Standard German, Swiss Standard German, or German Standard German. Standard German can also be called High German. This is confusing because High German can also refer to a group of languages that includes Standard German, Luxembourgish, Bavarian, Alemannic, and everything in between. So when the Constitution of Liechtenstein states that its official language is German, it means, in this context, Standard Swiss German, which is the language used by the government and in schooling. Although, somewhat strangely, the 2020 census says that only 8% of people speak Standard German at home. That's because Liechtenstein is firmly in the Alemannic language area. Alemannic is in the High Germanic language family and is similar to, but isn't, Standard German. What I think is really cool is that even this tiny country speaks two different dialects of Alemannic. The southeastern town of Triesenberg was settled by Walsers in the 13th century who speak the highest Alemannic dialect, while the rest of the country speaks High Alemannic. We could be even more precise still and distinguish the way people speak High Alemannic in the north from the south, which coincides with the country's main political divide. Now, for the most part, the differences between these dialects are minor changes in the pronunciation of vowels and diphthongs and maybe slightly different vocabulary. But I just thought this was cool and wanted to share with you this example of linguistic diversity on a small scale. And if Liechtensteiners are ever having an identity crisis, remember, your country is the only one that speaks uniquely Alemannic. And in this small way, you set yourself apart from your neighbors.